so let's take a look here, and it looks like I'm going live. So this is an impromptu live stream, which is why there's nobody on the channel right now. I just took a look over. My name is Rich Charpentier. I'm the channel owner, and normally we're talking drones, mobile tech, and building a small drone business. But I decided to do something a little different today because something's at the top of my mind, and that would be we got notified this past weekend. The rental home that we're in right now is going to be getting sold in the near future. So our landlords are going to be moving far away, so they're selling the place that they're living in and also this place. So we're in a mad dash to find ourselves a new place. And along with finding the new place, I'll be bringing along the Rico Theta Z1 for each of our visits. So today we went and looked at a place that I'm going to go ahead and say we're probably going to give a pass on. Oh, we've got 3 folks on channel already. So good afternoon, everybody. And as I was saying, this is a totally impromptu one. So we're going to take a walk through what I shot with the Theta Z1, but we're also going to talk about one of the fun things about Prescott. The rental market is really tight here. And as I've mentioned before, great for drone work with new construction going on all over the place. And just hundreds upon hundreds of new houses being built all over the place. But all those houses are slightly expensive. And the rental market here is expensive too. Prescott's a place that people are wanting to move to. And with that in mind, it's driven prices up. So we're trying to actually get a little lower than what we're paying right now. We're in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with giant ceilings, and that'll be relevant in a couple of minutes. Hey, Davenport, good afternoon. Good to see you. And hey, thanks for stopping in on a random live stream. So today we went and looked at a listing that actually came up yesterday down toward the Prescott area. So we're out in the Prescott Valley area. And this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $1,500 a month, which is actually fairly reasonable for Prescott. So we were enthused with that, but it is a slightly lived-in house. I think it was built in 1996. And so one of the things I want to point out, so I'm using the Theta Z1. So here we go. Got it on its little stand here, but there's the Theta Z1. So while we were taking a look at the house, we decided to go ahead and get some shots. And what I did for today's experimentation with the Theta Z1 is pretty straightforward. I went and used one of their automatic modes. I used the automatic HDR mode. So this isn't being shot for a client or anything. It's being shot for me and for me to look back through. But I thought I'd share it with y'all, and I even put together a quick little tour through it. So we've got the hot links in here. And yes, very weird light from the ceiling here. I'd actually smack my face onto this. It's so low. So the ceilings are really low in this building. And that was a little surprising when I saw that hanging there just like that. But with the Theta Z1, with the HDR, with the automatic HDR generation, you actually get some detail out of the windows. So we actually opened up these blinds so that we could get some detail out of them. But as you can see, there's some chromatic aberrations going on with this low-hanging dining room light, we'll call it. So if you don't put a table under there, somebody's going to smack themselves in the face over and over again. Let's go over to it so you can see. So I'm shooting with the Theta Z1. The lens is about nose level on me. I'm 5'7". And what I was thinking after I looked at these afterwards was I need to, with these low ceilings and everything, I probably need to drop the Theta down below my chin for those lower ceilings, because otherwise it feels like I'm super tall or something here. So definitely, lived in, not horrible, but we think we're going to give this one a pass, and it's hard to find rental homes in this marketplace. So if you're thinking about coming to Prescott, it's more geared toward buying than it is rentals. And so also there's always been some issues in the paper you read. Affordable housing in the area is non-existent. So it is a popular tourist community, to be sure, and a popular retirement community. So one of the things I have to say is the Theta Z1 with the auto HDR did a pretty good job on the colors. I did not go through and edit anything on this, okay? So no white balance, no nothing, just taking it right out of the Z1, throwing it up onto Kula, and seeing what we get. So not the best example of 360 work we do, but when it's a quickie thing where I'm putting it together for live stream after lunch, hey, this is what we're going to get. Before we go to the hallway to the beds and baths, let's just head back over to that dining area, not hit ourselves with that low-hanging light. Seriously, if I moved in there, that would have to be removed. So you got your little center, living area. Once again, some detail out of those windows. Probably get a little more. And once again, that's just their quickie HDR formats, and not terrible. Just taking a look over to make sure I don't miss anybody's chats. And so let's go into the hallway here. So it's not a very large house for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, that's for sure. Like I said, it's $1,500 a month, very small postage stamp sized land. If only we could have hit the white balance on this. But remember, when you're doing a 360, you're going to have some areas. You could brush this down and you could get some of that yellow out of there. So if I had done this in the DNG mode instead, definitely could have done some corrections in here. But the dryer has seen better days. It actually looks like when we opened it up that things on the interior were burned to the vent there. By the way, so in the world of the horrible disease that shall not be mentioned, you might be asking yourself, hey, did you get a tour of this? So the rental agency that's dealing with this, you actually go down to their place. We had our masks and everything. You check out a key with them, and you can actually go do your own private walk through the place. That's kind of nice. So we weren't worried about interacting with anyone else who might have been affected by the disease that shall not be named. And so back out to that living room area. But yeah, definitely if I was doing this for a client, I would not be going with the HDR auto setup. So then we got the guest bath. Let's take a look in there. And yeah, like I said, I was just whipping this one together. So we got a lot of crazy arrows going on. We'd neaten this up a bit. So really bad stain on the on this countertop here in the bathroom. So that grossed me out a little bit. And then, your standard wash tub here. So like I said, with the 3 bedrooms, this would be good because there'd be a studio room for doing the kind of work that I've been doing here for the tutorial work that I do for clients and for teachable.com for my own tutorials and Udemy. So I was looking at bedroom number 1 as the micro studio. Once again, little detail out of that back window, not bad at all. Very small closet space. So the place that we're in right now has got a lot more, but it's also $300 more a month. Let's check out that bedroom number 2. So we just centered everything. We didn't treat this as a shoot that we were doing for a client. This was just for us to review afterward. As you can see, super not deep at all when it comes to the closet space. And if you saw the closet here in this studio room, you'd think, hey, that's an extra bedroom. All right, back out into that hallway. Let's go over to that master bedroom. Now, while we're talking about this and looking through this one, you might be asking yourself, there are new apartment developments in Prescott Valley and in the Prescott area. Several come to the top of my mind. Some of them reasonable enough to where I could give it consideration. But we're looking for a rental house, not for privacy issues or anything, but totally different issue. This is a 2-pack of EpiPens. So let's see, does it zoom in on that? You might have heard of the EpiPen controversy the other year where they were $650 to $750 for doses. I've mentioned on the channel before, but I actually have an autoimmune thing, and we're just going to call it a thing. And I'm actually hyper allergic to a lot of stuff, to the point where when we were visiting a client location in 2014, I will turn allergic to things overnight, literally. But in 2014, we were working with clients. We walked into their building. They actually have a farm location in Colorado, a special kind of farm location. We were just building their website, but you know what's legal in Colorado, and we were building websites for a couple of those legal businesses in Colorado. Now, one of them that was completely organic regularly sprayed sesame oil into the air. Very familiar with those. Had to carry those my whole life. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Davenport, it's I've been carrying these since 1989 when I developed a bee sting allergy while working at SeaWorld as I started college. So I got stung in the park. And, I'd been stung a million times before, never had a problem. And a tourist walked up to me and asked me, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a hot day. It's July, but I'm having a good day." And he said, "Well, your whole face is swollen up." And I looked at my hand where I'd gotten stung. My hand was like a baseball, and I hadn't even really realized I was doing my job. So I had to go back to the commissary area. It was a long walk. I was pulling some heavy cargo with me. By the time I got into their medical unit, they had an ambulance coming in, and a really really cute EMT took me into the back of the ambulance, and my whole face and my hands and my arms were all swollen up, and so I felt like I was looking like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Very self-conscious moment. But so I've been allergic to bee stings since then. But anyways, the Colorado incident, let's go into that master bath, by the way. It's not really a big master bath either. It's pretty tight. So getting a look around, definitely dated, and you can tell things are used. So anyways, we went into our client's location to have a meeting with them about their website. They had recently sprayed sesame oil in the building. Within 2 minutes of being in the building, I went into anaphylactic shock. Fortunately, there was an ER over in Mancos, so a small doctor's office / emergency room. So we got me in there, and it was awesome because the nurse that was with me also has some pretty severe allergies, not quite on that level. But here's the crazy thing. Probably a week before, I had sesame seeds. I liked sesame sticks, and I miss sesame sticks. But so when we're thinking about a rental for ourselves, to be connected, be in an apartment where someone else could be cooking, maybe they're doing pad thai with peanut oil or sesame oil or one of the dozens of other things that I'm severely allergic to, I would really like to stay away from other people's cooking oils and things after that incident in Colorado. So that's why we're looking for a house, because I can, anyone coming along might say, "Hey, you're pricing yourself out of your market area because you're not giving consideration to those apartments." I totally agree. So it's a pain living with myself sometimes, believe me. I'd like to have all that gone and have a pizza again, to be honest, but that's not going to happen. So that's one of the things we work around. And by the way, that's also one of the reasons why I started my own business years ago, even before doing the drone stuff, was the desire to not be working in an office space or other space where there was, shared break rooms or anything, just because of the concern that there's enough allergens on my giant list that can actually kill me, that I really want to regulate my environment. And you can't ask people to not bring in 10 plus food types into a co-located area with other coworkers. It's just not going to work. So that's one of the big reasons why I've been on my own business building, is to model a business that works for the stuff that I'm working around. So there's the honest story about it. I've had comments from people before saying, "I don't want to know about this kind of stuff." Normally this is drones and tech. However, the name of this channel is Rich Charpentier, so if I want to talk about the other stuff that leads into why I'm doing this, I can. And I'm saying that because I've actually deleted a couple of bad comments from people in recent months about, "I don't want to hear about that." Well, that's okay. So anyways, back out into the hallway again, and just taking a look at, we've got these other rooms, bedroom number 1. So we're looking back to the living room. Let's get ourselves back down to that guest bath and back to that hallway again, because I remember that I had missed one other item. So we've also got the 2-car garage through that yellow area. And that was one of the other things I'd noticed in here. See the light coming in under here? The weather stripping on that's not great at all. Also, weather stripping on this door, pretty abused. We didn't take any pictures outside because the backyard looks like it played host to some kind of family of animals. Maybe about 10,000 rabbits all using the restroom at the same time. Not kidding. Whatever is back there and whatever critters are living there, they're prolific when it comes to their leavings. So we took no photos outside of the back of the thing. Once again, though, thinking about it, the Theta Z1's done a really nice job. This is an extremely dark garage, so the only real lighting was coming through the laundry room area. And, mind-blowing when I got back and took a look at this, that the automatic HDR setup did such a good job. So in total on this, let me hit the escape key and just get to Kula. I think I took 15 shots here in total. So once again, I would not shop this to a client with the auto mode without doing a little editing behind it. However, if they wanted a really quick virtual tour through using the Theta Z1, in under 20 minutes, we got like 15 shots. I deleted a couple of them because they were redundant. But that's not bad. You can see where the oil leaks went on and everything. And so overall, satisfying for a quick tour for realtors. So if they didn't want to pay for a full edited tour where you're doing multi-bracket with it, where you're doing DNGs and then really fine-tuning everything after the fact, for editing time, like I said, there's no editing time here. I dropped this right out of the camera and upload it to Kula. So, and once again, like I said, these cabinets are pretty spot on, and we took a look at some of the photos that they had on the realtor's website as well, and it kind of looked like they were using an iPhone or some other kind of phone. So I noticed that more and more, especially as we've been shopping the rental market. There's a lot less effort given to the presentation because there's such a demand here. So we've sent out several other inquiries, and as we're going along doing these, if we get to tour a couple more, I'll bring the Rico along with me again, and we'll try some of the other modes. We'll go do the normal mode, we'll go do the manual mode, and so we'll add some of that in for you. Now, the one other thing before I get off of here, we'll show you something else with the Z1, and not only the Z1, but also the 7D. I was going to call it Mark II. It's not Mark II. It's just the 7D. But the Yavapai Courthouse Christmas lights, Jody's doing a write-up on that over at exploreprescott.org. And so she was using the Theta Z the other night, and I was using the 7D. And let's go ahead and click on hers really quick. And if you can't tell, the one that she focused on first, this is the gazebo downtown. So Prescott is also known as Arizona's Christmas City. And they had the lighting last weekend, and, it was a toned-down event, because of that illness that shall remain nameless. They didn't want the big crowds this year, so they were doing the virtual lighting of the Christmas trees. And so this is the gazebo area on the north side of the courthouse plaza. And Jody actually went for a darker format, so she actually made sure to keep the exposure down a little bit for the foreground and things, just to show off all the lights. And actually, it's pretty sharp. When you get to the edges of 360s, you always have that bit of distortion, and I feel like there's a loss in focus sometimes, no matter what cameras use, on those edges. But, as people are going through these virtual tours, they're paying more attention to those center points. So there we are, looking over across the street to Bashford Courts and one of the other shopping areas, and off to my right we have Whiskey Row. But I just thought I'd share this with you guys as well. So this is up on exploreprescott.org under our virtual tours of the Prescott area. I really liked what she did with this one. This came across really nicely. So toned down the foreground a bit just to get that lighting. And she was still satisfied with what the Theta Z1 was doing. This was fully manual, by the way, so no automatic HDR modes or anything. This went full manual, so she was adjusting while we were there. And I gotta say, it came across nicely in my mind. So there's another great one with the courthouse, allowing a little more of that light to come through, and how the courthouse was lit up. I do say what I did with the 7D I find a little interesting too. We'll move on to that one next. But let's head on over there. So we're stepping back a little bit on the north side again. So not a bad set of images. Let me just pull up a couple other ones rather than following all the tour around. So I was really liking this side. This is the western side of the courthouse plaza. So on the other side of the street, I hope I'm not making you motion sick, by the way, but on the other side of the street, we have historic Whiskey Row. So some of the signs lit up, the St. Michael's right down there, and you can actually get down to the sidewalk lights. So there's another one with that gazebo again. That really did stand out to us. So we got there a little before sunset. The other day, sunset was at 5:18. We set up a couple of practice shots, messed around a little bit, and then when we each went off to different locations to do that shooting. So let's go back here and my tours again. So once again, I'm using Kula. I don't market for them. I don't have an affiliate account or anything, but I found that Kula has been very useful. So here we are right before 5:18 p.m. So I was just taking a couple shots. Sun wasn't going down quite yet, but I thought it'd be nice to give myself a little comparison. And I didn't put all of the images up, but so I was shooting in RAW as well. I actually set up for HDR, so I did bracketing. In the end, I really couldn't stand the bracketing at all. So I took the 0 EV shots from each of my sets of brackets and just worked with those, and then also did my editing in Lightroom for the RAW files. But so I had a little bit of fun with this one, and we can actually pan around and see. So there's what the gazebo looks like before the sun goes down. And we've got the Bucky O'Neill statue. So from their virtual Christmas tree lighting, of course, they had their little platform with the keep out. There's some of the other shops there again. So let's move on from that one. And I hadn't set this up as a tour yet because I just wanted to see some results and how we were doing. So there we are, Bashford Courts, and the new one, I think it's the Burmeister, and then they've got some other items. There was a TV crew over here, so I don't know quite what they were up to. And then we had a gentleman who approached Jody, was curious about the Theta Z1 because he saw it up on the big tripod and this tiny little thing on top of it. They were distanced, and everybody had masks. So, all right, let's go on to the next one. So as we're starting to get the sun going down, CJ, howdy, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a couple weeks, or maybe I'm just being a little senile, but good to see you, and thanks for stopping by on an impromptu video live stream. So once again, we're on the west side of the Courthouse Plaza, so we're getting some of the lights of the businesses there. Right across there is the Palace Restaurant, so it's got a very famous long story about the restaurant's bar. There's a lot of history here in Prescott for sure. And of course, the St. Michael's Hotel over at the corner as well. So once things started getting darker, there we go. So I was really wanting to get this side of the courthouse. It was just very, very appealing to me this year. And usually they do more lights during this season. But once again, with everything going on nationally and globally, things have been toned down just a little bit. Great, thanks. Well, I'm glad to see you, CJ. And just to let everyone know, so whenever I look over to the right, I'm just checking the chat screen. So if I don't look over for a bit, I might miss your chats, but I will follow up on them. So all around the entire courthouse, there were lights. Of course, the southern side was a little spartan on the lights, but hey, once again, a lot of this, the lighting in the courthouse square does come from donations to the city as well. So, it probably wasn't in the budget to go all out this year. I really liked this corner here, and this is once again on the north side. And when we move over here, we've got the signs off in the distance for Bill's Pizza and a couple other places. And once again, they were doing delivery only and outside of the restaurants only. So we're all working around it together, right? Well, I hope we are. Okay, and then the final one, I did one more. I saw that Jody was doing work over on the gazebo, so I didn't want to go in and get the same exact shots of her, so I figured I'll come over to this corner and, just really, really pretty lighting in there. And also the whole display in there was incredibly nice. So the stuff that you've been seeing recently is from me with the 7D Mark II and then doing some work in Lightroom. And once again, the other ones that I was showing you there were from Jody and the Theta Z1. So I can really honestly see that with the Theta Z1, there are opportunities even in the darkest nights. So I think this came out really well for her. Once again, this wasn't a multi-bracket or anything. So this was all straight up manual, doing the manual settings in the Theta Z1. and then fine-tuning things afterward in Lightroom. So we're both heavy Lightroom users. All right. Well, thanks, CJ. I'm glad to see you. And I'm always glad when folks pop in. We actually had a bit busy one on Monday's live stream, so that's good. And I've got a whole list of new live stream stuff for next week and the next couple weeks going out. So we'll be featuring that. But I'm going to wrap it up here for today. I just wanted to show you guys a couple things. So we are heavy on the rental home hunt. If you are in the Prescott area, drop a line if you know of any good rentals. We don't need anything big. This place is way too big for us. A 2-bedroom, 1-bath would be fantastic. But, you know, we've been finding some of these 900 square feet properties for like 17 to 1800. We found one extreme one that was a 2-bed, 2-bath that was close to 2500. So, like I said, the rental market is super, super tight here. And so we'll keep looking around. And I am planning to bring the Z1 and the 7D along so that I can do some shot setups along with you as well to give you some other ideas of, hey, I can use a DSLR or something like the Theta Z to get images like this, to do tours like this. And like I said, the Diamond Valley one, today's tour, no edits, no nothing. Oh, Carl Casa. Time to sleep in Spain. I will watch the replay. Well, thanks for stopping in. And yeah, it is. I've got friends overseas as well, so I always have to pay attention to when we do chats as to what time of day it is there. So have a great night's sleep, and I hope you enjoy the replay later. But yeah, so anyways, the next round, when we do the next building, we are looking into, there's a home not too far from here. We're waiting to hear back to see if it's still available. If it's available, we'll probably pay a visit tomorrow. And I'll bring the Theta along again. And I'm either going to do the normal mode with manual setup, or maybe we'll do a multi-bracket. But if you're working with realtors and they would like a very super quick 360-degree pano tour through a smaller home or something on a budget, I can really see the Theta Z1's HDR mode being a way to go. And, you know, you got to have a discussion with the realtor you're working with first. Give them a couple examples, show them some of the other work if they, you know, if they don't want heavy edits or anything, but they just need something fast. Because I've had several clients ask for that now. They want a quick tour. It doesn't have to be perfected. It doesn't have to look like it's out of a magazine. And it just needs to be able to walk people through the home to give them a feel of the home. You know, once again, with everything that's going on globally with the health crisis, these tours are becoming more and more demand. So having a tool like the Theta Z1 is fantastic to add into your drone work and your other photography work as well. All right, everyone, I'm going to hop off here because I still have about 2 more hours of work to do on a website for a client. Did some of that work this morning, went out, checked the house, did lunch, did this video, and now we'll get back to a little more work. But keep your eyes open for some more random and strange live streams as we continue the rental home hunt in Prescott, Prescott Valley, Chino, Dewey, and Mayer. Cross your fingers we find something soon. We'll see you again real soon, everybody. All right, CJ, I'm glad it's good info for you. Thanks for stopping in again. Actually, I'll say that. All right, we're off now. Y'all have an awesome end to your day.